Thing is, I can't hear that shit. Let me see. That's the crazy. I can't monitor what the hell. Shoot.
This don't feel like I can't get it. Still thing, but yeah, we keep coming out.
Yeah. Can't hear shit. That's all right. I'll just look at that.
Hey girl, what's up? We working on a radio station. We supposed to be doing live, you know what I'm saying, for the Open Eye Radio Show. But we having technical difficulties on the radio, the live, the 95.3 FM. You know what I'm saying?
All right,
so we gonna just do what we do. What's up? What you wanna do, Pat?
We're gonna do it. We're ready to do it right now. Theme song almost played. All right.
So what they can still hear through the radio, we just can't hear here?
Yep. WHGE 95.3. Good morning, my children of the sun. Look, I'm sure y'all can hear me, but I can't hear me. Isn't that crazy? Live radio. It's something else, y'all.
Where the headphones?
I tried the headphones. It's all good. It's all good. We here, though. Oh, wait a minute. Get the camera straight. Get the camera straight. Yep, we all here.
Through the computer.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? That little box out there, the little radio on the thing. Yeah, look, live radio, y'all. Live radio is something else. I'm gonna tell you. We doing what we do. Let me see something.
Okay, we can hear.
Yeah. You turn it on? I can't hear it. Okay, it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. We here. Oh yeah, I can hear it. Okay. There's a little echo with it, but that's all right. We all here. Me and Nsoromma here on the air doing our thing. That's word. Let me see where I'm at on here. Oh yeah. Okay, it's all good. Okay, it's all good, bro. We're gonna do it. Let's get it started. You know what? We ain't gonna play too much music today, this, that, and the other. I'm gonna get right to it. Look, I'll tell you something I got going on my Facebook page.
Right. What's that?
I got a guy that came on, asked me, gave me a friend request, and I'm pretty liberal. Come on in. Yeah, come on in. You might learn something. I might learn something from you.
Right.
Okay. Now, I don't want to be like real hard on Christianity and just that and the other. But I'm gonna tell you like this, brother Jesus freak. Everything he posts, white Jesus. I'm like, Lord of mercy, brother. Come on now. And then when he posted some stuff about Egypt, it said Egypt was evil, Pharaoh was evil, and all this stuff. If you think African spirituality is evil, you have been successfully indoctrinated by the religion. Understand that you are suffering from what we call back in the day, and still do call it the slave mentality, brother. That's word. I want to give you a break here, but I got to ask you a question, and I hope you tune in and check it out when I ask. Mm-hmm. If your slave master was not a Christian or a Muslim, what would you be? See, not being a Christian does not mean that I'm an atheist.
Right.
And I said this last week. I am not. I do pray. However, rather than praying to the God of the enslavers of my ancestors, I demonstrate wisdom by choosing instead to pray to the God of my own ancestors. Moreover, I rightly honor them when I pray to their God, which is also rightfully mine as well. Furthermore, our ancestors' connection with the Most High was established long before the names of Jehovah, Jesus, Muhammad, or even Buddha were ever uttered. Our spiritual systems are the oldest and where the other spiritual systems have all drawn from. However, right, The way that our ancestors connected to the Most High was not through organized religion. It was through spirituality. They described it as being a personal oneness between the inner mind, that's what we know as God, and experience that no two individuals might verbalize the same. Some may say it speaks from above. Some may say it comes from within. Some may also say that it comes through the mind, while others say through the heart. It doesn't matter because our true belief system, they are all correct.
Right.
It's their own individual experiences in oneness with the Most High. See, my relationship with God is not a ritual. It is a way of life. You know, and I understand that, you know, religion is a real touchy subject.
Only to those that have a problem with talking about
it. Yeah, you know, because I know, as someone asked me about my arm that I wear,
right,
sister,
right.
and about, you know, what my spirituality was, my religion, and this, that, and the other. And when I started breaking it down to the sister, she started singing hymns. I was like, geez, but wait, right on the corner. We was on the bus stop. She started singing. You know what it was?
What?
I scared her ass.
I mean, why though?
Because the truth is frightening.
Some people won't even accept the truth. You
No,
know what I'm saying?
no.
Yeah, so it's like, man, crazy, man. All the stuff going on in the world today, and all our freedom and liberty is at stake here, and it's a lot of nonsense being thrown into the game of keeping us distracted
and indoctrinated.
You know, it's messy, man, to the 10th power. You know,
Yes, it is.
It's like crazy.
Yeah. You know what? I'll tell you this.
What's good?
I'll tell you this.
What?
Right? And some people will get this, others won't. See, in our infantile, when I mean infantile, I mean
Right.
childlike, puny minds,
Right.
we demand boundaries. Okay, so man demands a beginning and a boundary. All right. So since that's the case, put it to you like this: in the beginning, there was a sea of spirit, and it filled all space. It was static, content, aware of itself, a giant resting on the bosom of its thought, contemplating that which it was. Then it moved. It withdrew into itself until all space was empty. And that which had filled it was shining from its center, a restless, seething mind. This was the individuality of the spirit. This was what it discovered itself to be when it awakened. This is God. Now, I don't break that down to you like that to be deep, but only in some hopes of giving you some understanding. Because your soul knows what it needs, when it needs it. Follow your soul. It will always lead you to your truth. Listen to that gut feeling and trust it. It is the life from within informing you, your higher self guiding you. It is your restless, seething mind informing you what to do.
I call it intuition.
Intuition, yeah. You know, we can go with that. You know, yeah, I know we get a little philosophical on y'all this morning.
You know what it is.
Yeah, buddy. You know, but it's just that, you know, we have a desire to make a difference and do things a little differently than what you usually hear.
Right.
So we call it the open eye.
Right. We make you think.
Never heard it. People who really want to make a difference in the world usually do it one way or another.
Right.
You know, and I've noticed something about people who make a difference in the world. They hold the unshakable conviction that individuals are extremely important. They get excited over one smile. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. I mean, when you just think, they may be prejudiced and don't like other nationalities, but when it comes to them paying the bills for their mortgages in their house, if you can contribute to that, they're smiling at you.
Big time. Big time. And see, people that want to make a difference, You know, they're willing to feed one stomach, educate one mind. See, because if I wake one person up, I feel like I'm a success. You know, I'll treat one wound, and I'm not really determined to revolutionize the world all at once. You know, I'm satisfied with some small changes sometimes. Like I said, waking one person up. You know, I remember walking down the street and, you know, this dude, you know, having a hard time, whatever. He may have been alcoholic. He may have been on that thing or whatever. Yo, bro, you got $1. So I gave him $1.
Right.
And my friend asked me, why you be doing that? Why you give my $1? I said, because I know what it's like to have nothing.
And plus, that can be you one day.
That's right. That's right. I might be the one out there asking for $1. You know, that's what
roles can be reversed.
Word, yeah. That's what give you some rules here in life. Make peace with your past so it don't screw up your present. You ever seen people that dwell too much on their past?
Right.
You know, make me think what Malcolm said. You know, I mean, you look at Malcolm's past. Malcolm was criminal, did time, pimp, burglar, this, that, and the other.
Right.
Malcolm would tell you quick after he woke up, you can't beat me up with that stick. You know, that's what it is. And another thing people get caught up in. Tell you like this, what you think of me is none of my business.
Right. I mean, keep it to yourself. Who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, all right, okay.
Yeah.
That's probably what you'll get from me.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well,
I'm like, oh, okay.
that's on you because I'm gonna do what
I might say thank you. Okay.
Yeah, how about that?
I'm glad you let me know you feel like that.
Yeah, because now I know what category to put
right,
you in.
now I know what this story you
Right. And how to deal with your ass.
Right. I mean, sometimes you want to know. You know what I'm saying?
That's word.
Okay, because your enemy only can be beside you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's where they can get you to work the most.
You know? It made me think of what Michael Corleone said.
Mikey Corleone.
Yeah.
What he said.
He said, and this was deep. I really go with this. He said, it is best for your enemies to overestimate your faults and your friends to underestimate your virtues.
Okay.
That keeps you balanced and keep everybody else off balance.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And don't compare your life to others. Don't judge them. You have no idea what their journey is about. You know? And stop thinking too much. Sit around thinking too much. Sometimes your biggest enemy is between your ears. And no one is in charge of your happiness except you. You know, if you don't, if she comes into your life and you're not already happy, she's not gonna actually make you happy. She's gonna satisfy your moment, but she's not actually gonna make you happy. You know, I remember, bro, when I was seeing some dark days, you know.
Right.
And people ask me, how's it you always hold your head up? Because you're seeing some dark days right now. All right. I said, look, I don't own the problems of the world, you know, and I'm not going to bring myself down by not exploring the benefits of keeping a smile on my face sometimes. You know, that's
right. I mean, sometimes you could be going through what you're going through and you smile at a person that's just even feeling worse than you are.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll bring them up. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
Right.
A smile says a lot. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Plus, you can't let people take and control your, you know, emotions.
No.
You know, you can't let people take and drive you to the place that, you know, you wake up happy and you go outside and you let somebody make you mad because they call you the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just can't let people take that much control over your physical.
Right. That's right. Well, brother, you sent me something this morning, even though we had covered it before.
We should cover that every
time.
We talk.
How about that?
Our show like this is what they think about us. You know what I'm saying? I'm the forefathers is all I can tell us, and then you don't believe us, listen to me.
Yep.
You know, this person has to say, and that person has to say.
How about that?
You know,
How
and
about
that's we need to really understand what and how they think about us,
Yeah.
and the alternate thing that they'll do this to make this still exist, the way they think and feel.
And it's like, and with the brother sent me, what brother Nsoromma sent me,
Yeah.
right? You know, it dates back to the so-called founding father.
And my brother sent me that.
I heard that.
And, Tommy Cut Buddha Gun sent me that.
I heard that.
So,
Big us, brother.
yeah.
Big us, brother. That's word. Even though, like I said, we did it before, but you know, you learn by repetition. So that you know, so that you don't get it mixed.
Right.
When you read these history books about the founding fathers and think they're some kind of heroes and were benevolent to our people.
Right.
I know a lot of people like Ben Franklin. He's a scientist and inventor and this, that, and
Yeah.
that.
He talked about he invented electricity. Or,
Yeah.
you know,
Electricity is already here.
Yeah, but what did he think about people of color and you know,
This is what he said.
it, man.
Ben Franklin said, "Why increase the sons of Africa by planting them in America, where we have so far an opportunity by excluding all blacks or increasing the lovely white and red?"
I mean,
Exclude us.
just think of that, man.
You know, Thomas Jefferson. Now, to a lot of people, you know, Thomas Jefferson, he was the second president. He wrote the Declaration of Independence. You know, he was one of the founding fathers. Oh, he was considered a hero. Thomas Jefferson said, "I advance it, therefore, as a suspicion only, that the blacks, whether originally a distinct race or made distinct by time or circumstance, are inferior to the whites in the endowments of both body and mind." Yeah, I'm gonna go further. Thomas Jefferson also said, you know, we carry a smell, and this, that, and the other. Whatever the smell we were supposed to carry didn't keep his lecherous pedophile ass from raping black children. Sally Hemings in particular, who was 13 years old when he started raping her. So it didn't back you off of that, did it?
And that's crazy, because the people commit these war crimes and slave crimes, they shouldn't be heroes, treated as heroes.
No.
They should take them out of the Hall of Fame, out of all of the historical books, out of everything like they do. Did Michael Vick and all the people that really didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? Of people of color. I mean, you can. This is coming from their words. We're not making this up.
No,
either, you know what I'm saying?
not. Henry Berry.
No, you skipped one.
No, I know. I did that on purpose. Because people love this dude. Henry Berry, who's from the Virginia House of Representatives. He said, "We have, as far as possible, closed every avenue by which the light may enter the slave's mind. If we could extinguish the capacity to see the light, our work will be complete. They would then be on the level of the beasts of the fields, and we then should be safe." So what this sucker is saying is, by keeping our people stupefied,
right, dumbed down, to not know that we do have the mind to achieve anything that we would like to achieve, but they don't even want us to know that we have the mind.
No.
Right.
No.
I mean, that's
because you know it was illegal under penalty of death to teach a slave to read. All right. So this speaks volumes to that situation. Now the last one, like I said, saved this one for last because he was the great emancipator.
Did you see? Not because before you drop it to him, I'm still on this. The way they think about us. There was something on the internet today I seen earlier. It was this lady. She was in the airport or something. And she was calling every black person in there a slave. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
It's like, you a slave, and you a slave, and you a slave. Like to all the black people. And then she's like, my flight is 5 hours late. I gotta get home to my disabled child, and all of this stuff, right? And they was all just looking at her. To me, that is terroristic threatening. I don't
I
care
heard
what you
that.
say. Don't,
I heard
do
that.
not, yo, man.
You need to give her a charge
Right,
for
right.
intimidating.
Or
like you said,
everybody she
terrorist
pointed to
threatening.
should supposed to press charges.
Yep.
And
That's word.
let her go home and
Mhm.
have to pay retribution to all the people that she just disrespected and they feel like,
I heard that.
that's crazy.
That's
Man.
crazy. Well, like I said, let's get to the great emancipator. This man held the country together when they fought against himself in the Civil War.
Fought against herself?
Yeah, the
And
Civil
he
War.
held it together?
He held it together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was the president of the Union and fought off the Confederacy.
Okay.
hmm I'm talking about the great Abraham Lincoln, racist bastard. Didn't like that, did you, Abraham Lincoln fans? Lincoln said there's a physical difference between the white and the black races, which I believe will forever forbid the two races living together. While we do remain together, there must be the position of superior and inferior. And I, as much as any man, am in favor of having the superior position assigned to the white race. That's what Lincoln said.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
That's how they all feel, because they all white.
Mhm.
That's what make it a one-sided democracy and make it really injustice.
Right.
Because all of them that was up there, all the names that you just said was all white people
Right.
that didn't really care about anything but themselves.
That's right. White supremacy.
They really didn't even care about their brothers and sisters. They
No.
quick to kill their mom and their dad
Mhm.
and kill them for the insurance policy. I mean,
Yeah.
these are ruthless people, man.
Big time. Big
You
time.
gotta really understand, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And we'll tell you something.
But
Why we do what we do.
and what's that? What we do?
And I'm gonna tell you. My biggest fear is getting into the afterlife and my ancestors stand there with their hands out to welcome me, and they notice my hands don't have any scars like theirs do. And being asked, did you not continue to fight?
No, we just smoked and twerked and we just danced it on too. We just oh my god.
Yeah, buddy. I'll tell you something about education. Well, before I do that, I'd like to give y'all some history. I like to do that. All right. Mary Ellen Bond. Now, our people, the interesting thing about our people is that we are the biggest patriots in America. There are no group of people as patriotic about America as black people. Ain't that something?
It's surprising to me.
Yeah. Case in point, Ellen Bond. She was a spy and a patriot for America. And that was her code name, Bond. Like, spy, James Bond. Yeah. Now, she was born a slave in Richmond, Virginia in 1839. We don't really know anything about her parents or her childhood because she was born a slave in Richmond, Virginia in 1839. We do know that the plantation owner, John Van Lew, was whack as hell. That we can be sure of. Don't worry though, because John Van Lew died in 1843 and his wife Eliza Baker and daughter Elizabeth Van Lew decided to be semi-decent and free all their slaves. Now, many of the slaves didn't want to leave because now that's something, but you got to consider the situation they were in.
You ain't got nowhere to go, and
right.
You just get put in. That's like coming home and you just paid all the bills, and then the wifeys or the husband say, "Yo, you got to go."
Yeah. And so where was they going? What was they going to do? Pick up some shifts at Applebee's? The hell. So don't be down on them for that.
Right.
This is pre-Civil War Virginia. And many of them chose to stay. And those that did were paid for their services. So, hey, just about survival. Now, Mary Elizabeth Bowser was one that chose to stay. Either because of the promise of pay or because, she was 5 years old. Yeah. So either way, in 1855, noticeably bright, Mary is sent to Quaker school for Negroes in Philadelphia. She's a bright young girl, and they sent her to school. Upon graduating in 1860, she moved back to Virginia and meets a free brother named Wilson Bowser. Because of racism, we don't know a lot about their courtship, but I'm sure it was fire because they were married the next spring, just 4 days before the beginning of the Civil War. So Mary, still working for Elizabeth Van Loo, and one day Elizabeth says to her, look, I know that the Civil War started, and as an unarmed, land-owning Southern woman in 1861, I seem like an unlikely participant. But I want to tell you that I am in fact the leader of an elaborate Union spy ring that has already infiltrated the Confederate capital, and I want you to be on my spy squad. And Mary was like, well, I have to think about, yes, I'm absolutely in. So Mary heads to the Confederate White House to pose as a servant. These Confederate dummies will come and be like, it's a good thing no one's here, but these here Negroes, now we can talk in depth about our super secret plans. There's no way we're going to lose. Yeah. So, like she wasn't cognizant enough to listen up. Well,
And
Mary
understanding what they talking
and
about.
understand what they're talking about.
Comprehension.
Well, Mary will come back and tell everything. And I mean, we're talking about troop movements, strategies, and all that. She clocked all that. And oh yeah, because they thought she couldn't read, they just leave her documents laying around, and she would read them and memorize them, and then pass that along too.
Right.
It wasn't like she had a copy machine at the
Right.
top. She memorized that. And that went on for 4 years before the Confederates realized that Mary was the leak. Realizing she had been discovered, Mary makes a great escape from the Confederate White House that included her literally trying to burn that thing to the ground before she left. Straight up, that's an action movie.
That's right. I mean, that's when you got people that's a rebel for the cause. That's what it means, man.
That's word.
It stops right there. Rebel for the cause.
Word. So when the Civil War ended, a lot of records detailing Union spy efforts were burned so that no butthurt Confederate sympathizer, could seek retaliation.
Right.
Unfortunately, that means details of Mary's post-war life are largely unknown. What we do know is that in 1995, the United States Army finally gave Mary Elizabeth Bowser her props by inducting her into the U.S. Army Intelligence Hall of Fame. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's word. Big ups, Mary.
Big ups, Mary.
Big ups.
The first bond I'm hearing.
That's word. Now, what does school teach our children? Because you don't learn. I didn't learn that in school. You know what? A lot of our people are getting more education on Black history on Facebook and Instagram and what have you than they got in school.
I mean, they didn't even reveal the true history about our people and ourselves.
No, they didn't.
So even what we was learning was like really a shade screen to help them control.
If you haven't read, please read The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson. Because I'm telling you something about that, right? Not only were we miseducated, but whites were miseducated about the history of their own country and given a mythology that got their mind all screwed up into this white supremacy thing and thinking that they actually deserve white privilege. And you know what? Here's what's crazy about some people that fall into that white privilege thing and that mindset, right? Thomas Edison, I'm using him just, for example.
Okay.
All right. So purportedly, according to their mythology, invented the light bulb. So this gives those with white supremacy the ideal that they have Thomas Edison smarts. Hey y'all, and you on Facebook Live, see the look on my brother's face. Like, are you kidding me?
Yo, man, it sounds like some stuff you say don't go with what you say. It don't even look right coming out your mouth.
I know.
And I can't even see your mouth. I gotta look through the mask just now. Like,
Yeah.
yo, man, that's crazy.
Isn't that
man.
crazy?
Wow.
The thing is, look, what does school really teach children? I'm gonna tell you what they teach them. They teach them that truth comes from authority. Now, let's look at that. Because to these Trumpites, Trump is the authority. He's the biggest liar you've ever seen, but in their minds, truth comes from authority. This is what they've been indoctrinated to learn. Intelligence is the ability to remember and repeat. See, and when I was in school, you know, maybe one of the last generations, we were taught to think.
Right.
Now kids are taught to remember and repeat. And this is considered intelligence. If you can remember and repeat, you can get an A. You know, accurate memory and repetition, like I said, that's what's rewarded. Non-compliance is punished. That means you asking too many damn questions in class, hey, send your ass down to the principal for that.
Right. It's like, because you want to learn more and you want to get a more depth understanding of it, they want to put you out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
you asking too many damn questions.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because you ask questions that she don't know, or he don't know, the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, go to the office.
What you're asking is not in the curriculum. Will you please be quiet, little Johnny? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, and you know, we're taught, our children are taught conformity. It means conform intellectually and socially. If you don't have a problem. Now, if you look at that, and you look at someone like, look at Cuba and the legacy of Fidel Castro and the Cuban Revolution.
Right.
Only country in America without child malnourishment. Here we got the armed disaster.
And he locking kids up, taking them from their parents, selling them for body parts.
And trying to cut off the food stamps.
We got a true Don Corleone in the presidency.
Yeah. Right? Do you know? Shoot. Don Corleone wasn't this rotten. Damn. Cuba is declared an international paradise for infants by UNICEF. While here, you know, those that want to cut off food stamps and this, that, and the other, malnutrition is fine. Cuba has the lowest child death rate in the Americas. 130,000 medical school graduates since 1961. Student teacher ratio, 10-1. For every 10 students, you get one teacher for every 10 students. Here, most of the classes, 30 students in the class. And you expect the majority of them to come out having learned something. Cuba has eliminated homelessness. Eliminated homelessness. You go on the streets of some of our cities, and they got whole community of homeless people. You go out to California, for instance, in LA or whatever. There are tent cities where these people are homeless. Cuba developed 4 vaccines against cancer. 54% of the national budget is used for social services. Here in America, 0.1% is used for social services, and they complaining about that.
Because they want the poor to just die out and just go ahead and die.
Yeah.
Come on, man, get out. We want America to be all nice and rich. I mean, you can't have a gang without the gang for the world to even spin. So, I mean, their concept of thinking is like really
on balance.
Yeah.
And that's being nice about it.
Yeah.
You know, Cuba was the first country to eliminate mother-to-child transmission of HIV.
Say that again.
Cuba was the first country to eliminate mother-to-child transmission of HIV. So if the mother's pregnant, she's HIV positive, right? They have found a way to eliminate that so that the child is not born with HIV. Yeah.
Oh, they call them magic guns.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. How about that? How about that? See, we have been misled to believe that poverty is an individual failure rather than a carefully engineered system.
Right. All what we getting exposed to right now has been carefully designed and engineered for over the last 25 to 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they have like extensive, long, broad plans.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can't think 44 years from now when they get by the time your grandson get in position to be 27, 28 years old, he's going to be the politician that's injecting this ideal.
Mm-hmm.
They plan like that.
Right.
They have it written.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it's crazy, man.
Yeah. And see, what happens is, people get caught up and they, but they prophesied this was happening. No. Nsoromma just broke it down for you. What you have confused for prophecy is nothing but long-range planning.
Right. When you're dealing with a person that we don't, as people of color, we don't think longevity.
Right.
I mean, it's injected into us not to think like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do find a couple that do, and then they start exposing their plans, some of their own people have a problem with and try to stop them and discourage them and do all kind of stuff to make them think that this won't work. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Now, it's something that environment and home ownership has a lot to do with your economic well-being.
Right.
Okay. So our people have always tried, when they were, placed in situations or environments that were detrimental to their children's education, that were detrimental to their way of advancing and what have you, they would try to change their situation.
Right.
Case in point, Harvey Clark. Now, let me tell you the story of Harvey Clark. On the evening of July 11, 1951, one of the biggest riots in U.S. history began after a young black couple moved into an apartment in an all-white Cicero, Illinois, west of Chicago. The husband, Harvey Clark, was a World War II veteran who migrated to Chicago from Mississippi and was working as a bus driver. He and his wife, Janetta, had been crammed with their two children in a 2-room tenement with a family of 5 on the city's overcrowded south side. The couple found more space and cheaper rents in Cicero, closer to his work too. But the sheriff turned them away. And when they first tried to move in, the sheriff turned them away when they first tried to move in. With a court order in hand, the couple finally moved their belongings into the apartment on July 11th, as a mob formed around them, heckling and throwing rocks. The mob, many of them Eastern European immigrants, grew to as many as 4,000. This one couple. 4,000 people came out by nightfall. The couple fled. The Clarks fled. They got the hell out of there, unable to stay overnight in their new apartment. That night, the mob stormed the apartment and hurled the family's belongings out of a third-floor window. The sofa, chairs, clothes, baby fixtures, all that. The mob tore out the fixtures, the stove, the radiator, the sinks. They smashed the piano, overturned the refrigerator, bashed in the toilet. They set the family's belongings on fire and then firebombed the building, leaving even the white tenants homeless. The rioters overturned police cars and threw stones at firefighters who tried to put out the fire.
Hmm.
The governor at the time, Illinois Governor Adlai Stevenson, had to call in the National Guard for the first time since the 1919 race riots in Chicago. That's the
And they trying to do that now. They trying to start a race war right now, so
Oh,
they
yeah.
can call in the National Guards and
On
bring
us.
this right and
Mhm.
bring in this new world order law, so they can really lock it down, man.
Mhm. Well, it took more than 600 guardsmen, police officers, and sheriff's deputies to beat back the mob that night, and 3 more days for the rioting over the Clarks to subside. The Clarks were prevented from spending a single night in Cicero. A total of 118 men were arrested in the rioting, but none were indicted. Instead, the rental agent and the owner of the apartment building were arrested for inciting a riot by renting to the black people in the first place. The Cicero riot attracted worldwide attention and became a symbol of both northern hostility to the arrival of millions of African Americans during the Great Migration and of underlying belief systems that reverberate to this day. That story comes from the book The Warmth of Other Suns, the epic story of America's Great Migration. This is how deep the hatred goes. One couple, 4,000 people turned out to riot. It reminds me when we had the busing here, remember?
When? Which one?
With, what was it, 79, I think? Yes, no,
What, I mean, what you talking about? What?
the school busing.
Oh, when they
These
brought in
schools-
the segregation?
Yeah.
Oh, man, yeah. That
You
was
remember that?
78, 79.
Yeah.
I was on that bus,
Mm-hmm.
and it was crazy.
Yeah.
Like I can say.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but what I was getting ready to say was, like, how look, 4,000 people came together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there was a mob. They hated black people and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But the unity and them coming together to make it happen, to drive them out,
Mm-hmm.
that's what we need.
Right.
We need our unity to come together like that, so we can
On
fight
that
the
level.
oppression that is upon us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just, you can't fight 4,000 people with the 2 people like they was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So they was forced to flee or die.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
right.
I mean, and then they gonna bring the government in, which is supposed to protect you and your property.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They were supposed to get the 4,000 people, not them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so that's where the injustice in this governmental system don't
Serve us.
right, serve us or advance us to be better people or anything. It only locks us in the position of being taken from and being treated as a slave. That's the whole object of them putting us through their system.
Mm-hmm.
And when we get tired of it and stop letting them do it to us, who do you think they're gonna do it to? Everybody else that's in their system.
Right. That's right.
You know, they just gonna pick somebody else to do it to.
Right.
You know, and that's crazy.
That
man.
is. Now, what was it on the Breakfast Club? All right. They interviewed Barack Obama.
Right.
And they asked him, things about race and this, that, and the other.
Right.
And about the protests that were going on and what have you. Barack Obama said, well, the thing is this. That, when you're speaking on the issues of race, especially as black people, that, you have to take into consideration the feelings of poor white people. You have to take into consideration that, speaking too strongly on these issues is going to shut down communications and that people aren't going to be able to hear you because they're going to feel defensive and what have you. I don't give a damn. Are you kidding me?
Why do we have to downplay the evil and the devilish and the mistreatment of me?
Right.
Why would I have to downplay that?
That's right.
Man, get out of here.
Get out of here.
Right. FOH. You know what I'm saying?
And this is from Brother Ryan Wilson. Big up Ryan. And he said, to those saying we didn't pay enough attention to the feelings of poor white people, here's the thing. All of this, the lack of economic opportunity in segregated areas, drug epidemics that require social health, not criminal solutions, inadequate health care. These are all problems that black people have always been dealing with. But when we bring them up, white people, poor white people especially, have historically responded by calling us lazy, calling us criminals, and telling us that these were our problems alone. White America as a whole looked away as we were dying. Deindustrialization, something that you mentioned earlier, show, had a bigger impact on black communities than anywhere else. Shutting down these factories and what have you.
Right.
When it comes time to find solutions to these problems, poor whites have a habit of siding with whiteness over their own economic interests because of the belief that whiteness offers a way out of the class struggle. Whiteness afforded them economic and social mobility that was barred from black people. So white people have repeatedly decided to ride their slim chance to success that whiteness affords them, rather than expanding the roads to success for everybody. See, that's the privilege people are talking about. White people flee areas when black people move in. And now they complain we don't see them. Even now, the poorest white areas beat out the poorest black areas by a considerable amount. White people with felonies are more likely to get jobs than black people without them.
Right. I'm a witness of it.
I heard that. White people are 50% more likely to get a call back for a job interview or to gain acceptance into a college or university than black people. De facto segregation ravages black communities. The war on drugs ravages black communities. Economic inequality ravages black communities. We've been saying these were problems, but we were ignored. Now poor whites want to take out their economic frustrations on black people because the criminalization, segregation, and stigmatization that pushed onto us is hurting them too.
Right. Man, that's what I said. It's going to cross over.
Mm-hmm.
And see, the government don't see the color for real. They can see money.
Mm-hmm.
And they greedy.
Right.
So when you see money and you're greedy, eventually when this run out, you go to the next one. And then you go to the next one. And then, it's like that. And they're going to do that through our nationality.
Right. Now people are telling us we should have listened to poor white people to avoid Trump coming to power because he listened to them. He listened to them, but he only listened to them to repeat and reverberate back what they said and give him the impression
that he cared.
Because he hates the same damn people they hate.
Right. And then that's what that he don't even know nothing because he's just repeating and saying, what's the process they teaching in school now? They don't even teach you to think for yourself.
That's right. Repetition. Repeat. Remember and repeat.
Yeah, remember and repeat.
You know?
And Trump can't even remember.
That's right. They should have listened to black people and helped us create safety nets that they could have used as well. And instead, they gambled on the tangent promise and economic privilege that comes with white privilege.
I see a big difference in even the argument between a black and white thing, the race thing. And the black race is a humanity thing for everybody to do whatever, and all the and for all races to be on top, and the white work and the white superior thing, it's just straight white. They just thinking about white, period. And that's not the way the world works. The world is full of all kind of different everything. You know what I'm saying? So when you thinking out in just a box, a square box, when the world is much bigger than this little square box that you got, it's going to be a war, a real, very, very serious one.
That's what, So what they did was they betted on white privilege and they lost. And guess what? I ain't got no sympathy for your ass because you should have been fighting for your own economic interests instead of taking the side of whiteness and thinking that was going to benefit you. Now you got stupid ass people running around doing stupid ass stuff, like the white people that lost their job and facing eviction because they got in the damn list, like Uber, Lyft, right? Yeah, and went crazy. Because the man asked on, look, you in my car, put your mask on.
The two white couple. Yeah, I seen that. He did. He put him out. He needed to put him out.
He needed to. But when he did, they called him
about 6 left. I think I'd have gave a lady, and I don't hit ladies, but I'd have gave her a right cross, a white cross with a sweep or something. Yo, that was crazy, man.
Yeah, it was.
That's the way that some more people have to keep holding their composure when, yo, give it them the business.
That's it.
The police officer will pull up and give you the business.
Big time.
So, yo, you deliver that to them.
You know, you got to ask yourself, what the hell's wrong with white people?
Right. Some things, and sometimes you have to respond with the right response. You know what I'm saying? And let them know if you ever do this again to anybody else, you might get worse than this.
You know,
so you'll think twice now.
You know what I said, bro? Racist crap happens to me once from the same person.
Right. I mean, you'll never be able to do that. I mean, I'd rather die than let you keep doing that to me. So if you don't feel the same way, be ready to get stabbed up.
You know, a white man and his equally white wife lost their jobs after the video went viral, showing the man verbally assaulting the Lyft driver, and that's what they should have called it: verbal assault.
Man, that's all terroristic threatening to me. Verbal assault is too downplayed. Verbal assault don't sound like it. Verbal assault was just, he cut it down. No, that's not strong enough, and they always downplay the fact. But if it was two black people talking about one white person, the cops would have came and locked them up or beat them down or choked them out. I mean, you got to really look at it, man. That's just
now, if the story regarding white people who can't seem to express their already stupid objections, the face mask mandates without being racist sound familiar, it probably isn't because you've already seen this report. It's because white people keep doing the same dumb stuff over and over and over. You know, you could tell, the star of the Klansman's maid doesn't really understand how the whole viral video thing works. You know, the female in the case, she appears to think that recording the driver kicking her and her husband out of his car for easily understandable reasons was going to get him fired. I got your license plate. She should have never drive. You'll never drive Lyft again. Well, as it turns out, the only one who lost their job behind the incident are the dummies, Archie and Edith Bunker, Joe and Karen. Joe somehow managed to get more racist and less likable than the original. And in fact, not only were they fired after the video was posted to social media, but they're apparently facing eviction as well from their home. We both lost the best jobs we ever had, and are being evicted from the house we rent.
That's what needs to happen to these type of people. Now you hear them? You hear your voice you have? Yes. You sounded like them too. I like that.
There's really no context to this incident. My behavior in the video was despicable. I'm so sorry.
Like that all your whole life. Shut up.
You just got caught. Now here you come with this bigoted groveling for forgiveness. Here's the rest of Joe's apology. Check it.
The boy I can't breathe, can't apologize. I mean, come on, man. I don't even give him the light of day, man.
He said, I humbly apologize for my behavior towards the Lyft driver, and I should have never said these things. I said, nor acted like a complete idiot. He didn't deserve that. Nobody does. I had too much to drink. That's what it was. And I lost control of my tongue. And I said horrible things that I truly regret. You don't regret a damn thing until you got caught and all this pressure. You lost your job, facing eviction. Right? If you'd have got away with it and it wasn't on video, you'd have been proud of yourself and went home.
She went home that same night before she noticed the eviction and all that. Before it went viral to let people know that this is the kind of neighbor that you're living next to. I mean, them type of people can have people come in your hood and shoot up your house, and you live next to these people.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta watch who you next to too. I mean, if you know she's a racist and you live next door to her, you don't know what she's doing out there to have some people come by her house and shoot her house up or throw a cocktail on her house. I mean, man.
And I tell you this, like I said, he ain't sorry. Because like you said, he was home that night, right? And, before all this came down on him, we told that N-word.
Yeah. I mean,
we told that N-word.
You can hear their story. They had conversation in their home that night before they got the news that they got the bounce. Yeah, right. I mean,
that's word.
That's what I mean. People have to be held accountable.
That they do.
If the world have to make them be held accountable, if your job have to make you be held accountable, if the grocery store not letting you in have to make you be held accountable. I mean, you just got to be held accountable for your actions.
That's what
we do. And a lot of us don't even do nothing for the accountability that they put on.
So, right. For the consequences they put on.
It's crazy, man. It's messy, man. And it's just a tiresome thing that you have to keep dealing with. Up with as a people of color, man. It's getting really, really outrageous.
It is. It really is, man. You know, now, the time flies, even though we got started late. And we coming around to the close of the show here already, y'all. Me and Nsoromma kicking it and just bringing it. You know, now a question came up about ex-President Trump. All right, when he leaves office,
he said, "All right, I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna go. I don't concede, but I'm gonna go ahead and go.
I don't concede, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave."
You know, he said that from the golf course, by the way. You wasn't doing nothing, no way.
This guy making America look dumb.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's an understatement. Yeah. Well, it was asked if he should be trusted with America's national security secrets after he leave office. Hell no. Oh, hell no. He'll sell them.
Look, he's selling them right now, going out the door.
You know? Hey, Putin. Hey, look. This is how they make them drones. Right. How much you got on that?
Right.
You know? Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
He can't be trusted, period.
No. I'm going to give y'all a little bit of this from Matthew Cook. I'm going to start over next week, but I want to give you a little bit. Matthew Cook, for those of you that don't know, white dude. He's the writer-director, How to Make Money Selling Drugs, a documentary film which criticizes the war on drugs in the United States and Survivor's Guide to Prison, about the prison system. Check Matthew Cook out. He be kicking some stuff, man. He says this, right? And I'm not even sure I'm going to cut this off, but yeah, I do. But yeah, check this out. He said, this was a reality check. It made for great TV and clickbait, but there was never going to be a fascist takeover of America's cities. There was an attempted coup, but it was mainly just embarrassing. See, it would take somebody actually clever to orchestrate something like what Adolf did. Trump and his sycophants can't even keep their story straight for an hour. His campaign has always been a clown car wreck, and if they weren't stealing so much money and wrecking so much chaos, it would really be funny. But we know about all that. The big story here is why so many people will gobble up an excuse to throw themselves behind so obvious a fake macho man. But that's what 70 million people did, because white America is having an identity crisis. And as it turns out, your identity is based on fiction. You will defend the fiction as if your life depended on it. A nation with a false history, told that they're the greatest people on earth, feeling humiliated by reality, are going to follow anybody, no matter how ridiculous their promise, if they're promised revenge. And in the end, they're going to destroy themselves in the process, whether their hero is Mussolini or a reality show host. But to let the Trumpites off the hook a little bit, just a little bit, our public square is now privately owned for sale to the highest bidder, which is the inevitable result of the business model of our nation having been at cross purposes with the business of being human. Marketing campaigns work and Make America Great Again took those who fell for it, mostly by regional misfortune, back to that mythic American story of righteous might and moral authority. In reality, the America they're trying to dial us back to was 1619 Salem, when the colonies were just the playthings of the English lords, and the colonists demented version of Christianity gave them night terrors about everything outside of their settlement walls, when First Nation natives and Africans weren't human. when women were property, when justice meant burning witches and science was seeing if they float first. That is how stupefying it is to imagine that AT&T owns CNN, which makes $200 billion a year in corporate advertising, and Joe Iraq oil war Biden belong in the same sentence as socialism. Socialism is a word that has been turned into a Pavlovian response trigger to make people quiver in fear about the quality of life in Japan, UK, Israel, Canada. Socialism is simply the belief that a society should regulate its institutions rather than allow private tyrannies to oppress the peasant class.
Listen, man.
And it goes a lot deeper. Like I said, I'm going to put this at the beginning of the show next week.
When you like, yo, first of all, to me, to say make America great again, that's an insult.
Mm.
When was it ever great? An insult because I'm a black person and America has never been great towards my people or black people. And in every situation that America was dealing with a black person, it was always on a lower level of thinking and superiority towards the black people. Like we didn't deserve what it was that we were getting or working for anyway. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to America being great, it never was great for black people. It was always murder and vandalism and rape. I mean, just all the bad things that you can think about being done that was being done to black people.
Right.
And worse.
And worse.
Right. So, I mean, to say that, to even formulate your mouth to say that, yo, I want to make it like it was.
Yeah.
I should punch all your teeth out your mouth.
I heard that.
For that. You know what I'm saying?
I heard that. That's word. And I'm going to tell you something, brother.
Yeah.
In this fight, the scars on my hands from this fight,
right,
unfortunately, come from the fight that I had to fight black people to wake up to what's going on.
Right, man. And then some people like it. Some people like sitting in there. Some people think it's a safe haven for their kids, their babies, their mom and dad. I mean, the only safe haven you have is your own aura. And once you have your own safe haven in your own aura, and if you don't have yourself together, you won't connect to other auras. You know what I'm saying?
And stop looking for a safe, comfortable niche within the system of global white supremacy.
There's none.
There is none.
Right. There is
That's
none.
word, because it's coming for you. See, and stop this breaking up into our different cliques. The Baptist can't work with the Methodist, or the Muslim can't work with the Christian. The NAACP can't work with the bourgeois middle class black.
Why is that?
Why is that?
Why?
Yeah, because it's that divide and conquer and that indoctrination that you've been placed into.
Right. And then when somebody come and say, yo, why you acting like that? When you stop acting like that?
Yeah.
You feel some kind of way because they seen the way you act.
You know? And then we get caught up into who and what we are. And we can't even, we can't even decide what to call ourselves. We get confused, about that. We're Black Americans, Afro-Americans. Where's the land of Afro? African Americans, Negroid, Asiatic, Afrocentric, Nubian Afro-Americans, or whatever the hell it is this week.
Made up English words that I guess they put together to put a stamp on a product that they try to create.
That's what we're indigenous Africans who colonized the world before anybody else came along. But too many of us can't learn to love that, and that's what I like about us.
So far back that it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And they try to really make them understand that to lose that.
Yeah, Well, like I always say, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays.
True.
Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority who treat you as an option. This is Open Eye. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
I'm Nsoromma.
WHGE 95.3 FM.
Yeah. Yo, thanks for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, Ty, what's good? Russia, I see you. Hey,
all right.
Yo, you right out there? I see you, Charlie. Hey, yo, Tori, what's up, man? I ain't seen you in a minute. You know what I mean?